Hey guys, Zack here, and this is why you should watch Dr. Stone. Okay, so I'll be the first to admit, this video probably should have come several months ago, but I wanted to make sure that Dr. Stone had finished the run of its first season before actually beginning to tackle this, because I want you guys to be able to accurately watch this show as much as you can before the second season comes out, because this is a really good show. As I said, this video is a little bit late, but I have been keeping up with the show, and it is very good, and I do recommend it. So the first episode sets up everything you need to know. When every human on the planet Earth is suddenly turned to stone by a mysterious green light. And I should specify humans, because no other animal except for some birds which petrified a week prior have been affected by this. All other animals in the food chain, they are free to do whatever they want. And then fast forward 3,700 years, and the world has become reclaimed by nature and is now running amok with feral animals, and every human that could have been on the top is now turned to stone with no real way to defend themselves from the elements. However, all hope is not lost, as two friends, a genius but arguably pretty much of an ass, Senku, and his lovable oaf of a friend, Taiju, are revived within months of each other and set out to try and save the world and fix whatever's wrong with it, and try and figure out what exactly happened that caused everybody to turn to stone. And they do indeed eventually find a way to reverse the process. But they're not before reviving Tsukosa, a man who starts off friendly but eventually devolves into this ideology that the stone world is an untainted place, and that if they revive every human, that there's just going to be a bunch of assholes who are going to claim power for themselves, and then the world is just going to be right back where it was. So it becomes apparent that the Tsukosa does not like modern society at all, and wants to change the world now that he has the chance to do so. So weirdly enough, it comes up with this really weird ideology where Senku wants to revive all humans and restore humanity to the way it was before, whereas Tsukosa wants to purge the world of all the assholes that were running around and running the show back in the day. And both are kind of both right and wrong. Obviously, Senku wants to revive everybody, but notably does realize that it would be kind of bad luck if they revived a murderer right off the bat. But he does want to preserve as many human lives as possible, and that's his primary goal. And he wants to make a fast track back to modern society as quick as possible, which, given how knowledgeable he is about how the world works, shouldn't take very long, maybe a couple of seasons. But also Tsukosa wants to kind of purge the world and remake it the way he wants, so that way there are no assholes, there are no people who want to just control everything, and the world is effectively pure. And he wants to try and keep the purity of the stone world intact, which is his primary goal. And while he's not entirely right, as I said, neither are entirely right. Tsukosa wants to purge the world of assholes, thereby making it a perfect utopian society once everybody's brought back. But he actually has no idea who's an asshole and who isn't, and is just kind of smashing statues indiscriminately. Meanwhile, Senku wants to bring everybody back, but again, doesn't know who's an asshole and who isn't, and could very well bring a murderer back, which he did, right off the bat. So yeah, it becomes an interesting dynamic of these two ideologies clashing together as they try to fast track their way back to modern society. And it's a very interesting show, and also it is very heavy on science. I think that should be established. It is a very science-heavy show, and case in point is it's very open about the world of science. It explains a lot of things about the world, specifically that Senku believes that everybody turning to stone wasn't an accident, that there had to be some sort of scientific explanation behind it, and while he did find a way to return people back, he isn't entirely sure what caused people to turn to stone in the first place. So He's trying to determine that, and with his best friend Taiju serving as the brawn, and Yuzuriha, his Taiju's crush, who they revived only recently, serving as their moral compass. The three of them go out of their way to try and solve the mystery of what happened to society and why is everybody a stone statue now. That's primarily what the series is, and it's also a very interesting story in that it's kind of walking everybody through society's development from the Stone Age to the modern age. So in that regard, it is a very interesting history lesson as well about how far society has come and how far humans have come as a species. And it's a very interesting show in general because it's funny. It's funny as you would expect any show to be, but it also is very different from other shows because unlike other shows who just look at science and see it as a hurdle that they just kind of jump over and never address, Dr. Stone just kind of embraces it full force, like with a big hug, and just establishes that, hey, we're talking about science for the entirety of this run. Good luck trying to figure it out, and good luck trying to keep up. So yeah, it doesn't need to embrace the idea of science, which not many shows do. So it is a very different in that regard, because most shows just can't be bothered to actually come up with science, and in turn just kind of fake their way through the science that is kind of fake, and then the fake science makes sense in that world, in that context, but this uses actual science, so it's already got a leg up on everything else already. But yeah, I want you to go check out the first season of Dr. Stone. It's interesting. I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the second season. I hope you guys are as well. If you have watched it, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a good show. You won't be disappointed. And that whole mystery about how humans turn to stone thing, I'm assuming that'll get brought up at some point, if it hasn't already. I'm trying to keep up, but I don't remember exactly if it actually was addressed at some point. But yeah, if you guys have seen this Dr. Stone, then just check it out. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on Dr. Stone. What did you guys think? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below. And also, check out my Patreon in the description below as well. It's only a couple bucks a month, and it really helps me out, and you guys get access to a bunch of perks that are my way of saying thanks. So be sure to check those out in the description below as well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!